Hi, my name is Cheri Bush, and I am a Catholic philanthropic advisor for Catholic Charities. I'm a parishioner at St. Monica, and that's a parish that I love dearly because of it's multi-ethnic. So there's a rich diversity there, and I am honored today to talk about Blessed Julia Greeley. Blessed Julia Greeley was born in 1840, and unfortunately, she was born into slavery. As a young girl, she witnessed the beating of her mother by their master. And as he was whipping her mom, Julia drew a little too close, and the corner of the part of the whip caught her eye, and it destroyed her eye. What inspires me about Julia is her amazing charitable heart. She grew up and eventually was freed from slavery and worked in multiple states, but she settled in Denver. And she became Catholic at Sacred Heart Church in Denver. And she was one of the founding members, really, of this church. And but she was poor, and that didn't stop her from being this amazing philanthropist. Julia set aside her horrendous memories of her upbringing and focused instead on the call of Christ. You know, sometimes we can become bitter when we have a lot of suffering in our life, but that was not Julia's case. She was devoted to the Sacred Heart. She spread this devotion across the city of Denver, and she did it on foot. So she evangelized to the firehouses in Denver. And as I read about Julia, my heart was really touched for many reasons. One of them being that I have firemen in my family. My uncle, my grandfather, and my great-grandfather were firemen. And the thought of Julia coming and evangelizing to firemen and praying for the firemen and their safety, and the safety of their families. Firefighting at that time really was dangerous. It's dangerous now too, but there were a lot of firemen lost. And so her ministry was she would help other people who were poor. She would beg for food, beg for clothing, and beg for fuel, and then deliver those items to families in need under the cover of darkness. She did this at night, which makes me fear for her safety. I hope that she was safe when she did all those things. But she would, and there's a fire siren. That's awesome. So she would go around at night and deliver what the family needed under the cover of darkness so that they weren't embarrassed that they had to have a handout. I think that the people in heaven, whether we recognize them with the title of saint or not, are saints, and they're part of the communion of saints. And that means that they are our friends. So our friend Julia continues to pray for firemen and families of firemen. And her example of being able to surrender her bitterness or her terrible upbringing to God and move forward in a positive direction. And, at her death, there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that came from all over Denver. And the people of her parish were like, wow, we knew how great she was, but we didn't realize how many lives that she touched. So she did that in a quiet way, in a very humble way. And that really touches me too. The Holy Spirit gave me a prayer years ago that I pray that I'm the last. And so sometimes when I try to remember that as I'm doing things, that I'm not seeking recognition, I'm not seeking attention. I'm simply trying to give and support others and be last. So thank you, Julia Greeley. You inspire me, and I'm going to pray for your canonization.